Shame. Shame is that feeling that we are a mistake. It gets deep rooted into our souls. It comes from wounds of abuse, neglect, exploitation, different things. And we are ashamed. We get shamed as children. Shame on you. This is a tough subject for me to talk about, but I really feel it is important. Shame kept me in bondage for years. I had the shame that I was a mistake. I was unlovable. That nobody would accept me or approve of me. And it was rooted in sexual abuse. And then the choices and the behavior and the feelings that come from that, the beliefs I had. And it drove me to make choices that were not so good. And since I was raised in a Christian home, there was the conflict of those values and the behavior I was doing. I was a big old mistake. I was broken, could not be fixed. And that was the belief. Now I thought I could get good enough that maybe I could, like a score. I had all this stuff, and if I did good things, then it would cancel that. So I tried to earn God's favor by being good, but I was never good enough. I couldn't be perfect. I was never good enough. And the behaviors that came from that is codependency, it's people-pleasing, enabling, weak boundaries, low self-esteem. And I tried to control stuff because people-pleasing is controlling. But I want to talk about the shame. How do you overcome the feeling that you're a mistake that's rooted in shame? For me, I had to talk about it because we're only as sick as our secrets. And I remember the day clear. I had a friend. She came to work in my salon and we became friends. And we went to Sam's one day and we were in the parking lot. And she was sharing the smutty details of her life. And I was just like, how does she talk about that stuff, And yet, because she was open enough to talk about her stuff, because you see, she had been in a healing process from that, I told her about the abuse. The first time. 36 years old, and for the first time, I told the secret. And that started my journey. The only way to get rid of shame is to shine some light on it. And that's hard to do. Very hard to do. To have the courage to talk about the secret. The skeletons in our closet. They're locked up nice and tidy. But you see, that shame in my life still was driving me to do this maladaptive behavior that kept me in a destructive loop of doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. That's a description of insanity. I work with a lot of women, and I work on this area because it's bondage. You just get bound up, and there's no freedom, and there's no, how can you be yourself when you wear a mask and you pretend that everything's okay, and yet deep, deep down and in your subconscious, you know that you're a mistake. I think the biggest turning point for me is I went to a ladies' retreat. It was this Christian retreat at this large Baptist encampment, and there were 4,000 women there. 4,000 women. And they would have these workshops, but they'd have this keynote speaker, and she would speak on Friday night and Saturday night. And on Friday night, I remember there was this beautiful blonde woman, and she, Southern style, Texas down to the core. I mean, she was really something, dynamic. And she got up there and told her story. And she talked about sexual abuse. And I was in awe that someone like that would talk about her past and where she came from and how she got to where she was that day. I just admired it so much. Well, through some events, there was another lady at church that had shared about her past, and I had shared about mine, and we were there at this retreat, and we noticed they were offering a workshop on this, and we decided to go. Now, talk about a lot of courage, because we go to this workshop, and so the other ladies in our church, there's probably 30 of us, would know. And I wanted to go, and so we went. And guess who was the workshop leader? The keynote speaker. And she shared a little more and about the things that she did to overcome some of this, and she just talked about her journey, and when someone shares the secrets and the feelings, the experience may be different, the circumstances may be different, but the feelings are the same. The shame. And that really started a journey for me. And a series of events. My first husband, he went to treatment. They sent me to Al-Anon, and I started my journey on recovery from codependency. And I had also started counseling about 6 months before this, and I continued to do counseling. And with the help of a counselor and the spiritual principles in a 12-step program, I began to heal this area. And it has taken a long time to know the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is, I did something wrong. Shame is, I am wrong. And I'm not. I've had some experiences in my past, and I made some choices that were not good. It's just maladaptive behavior. It's not me. It's not me. I don't like that word survivor. I did survive it, but I survived for years. That's what I did. Survived. Today, I'm an overcomer. I have overcome those things. Do they haunt me? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Does shame rear its ugly head? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. But through practice, I know what to do with that stuff. I know who to talk to. I encourage anyone to break the silence. I'm going to put my email down below, and if you'd like to email me, we can email. I work with women one-on-one to overcome those effects that happen to people that have lived through abuse. And it can happen later in life. It doesn't have to be childhood. But we get programmed as children. And those programs develop our beliefs. And those beliefs drive how we think and feel. And then we do the behaviors. We make choices that suck. I did. If you like what I share here, please subscribe to my channel. Hit like. Don't live in the secret of shame. You are not a mistake. God doesn't make any junk. Things happen to us, and we feel that way. You are unique, and you are special. And that's the gist of what I do here is to help women, and it's not just women, men deal with this too, to overcome those things that keep you stuck in a destructive pattern that repeats day after day, week after week, year after year. How do you build a new future? You begin to shift what you believe, what you think. It will affect your feeling, but it starts the other way around. You change your behavior, then you change how you think, and the way you believe. It will change the way you feel. It's all an inside job. If you do not go within, you will go without. So, keep coming back. Like I said, check out my stuff. I have my channel below. My webpage is what it is. I've got it listed below. I sell some workbooks. I have 5, and then I have the whole workbook together. It's on codependency, irrational beliefs, and negative self-talk, self-esteem, boundaries, and emotional regulation. And those are the things that I learned in my life that were the key components that changed me the most. Step by step, day by day, week by week, and year by year. And I have built a whole new me. It's the most important relationship you can have is with yourself, is to look within and to know thyself and to love yourself. And it is not always easy. You are not a mistake. You are not broken. And remember to be you